All right, y'all. Welcome back. This is day two after the Carmelo Anthony verdict yesterday. I'm not even gonna call it a verdict. I call this a public lynching, a legal lynching. Man, that's what they did to this kid. Now, I'm all for locking you up if you're guilty, if you did wrong and you deserve to go to jail. I'm all for locking especially a kid. I don't care what color you are. You know what I mean? If you did wrong, you deserve to go to jail, in my eyes. And I'm not perfect. Now, this is why I feel the way I feel. Now, all white, keep in mind, all white jury, right? That's one thing right there. They changed the venue up the last moment. Number two, the Madcap brothers, they they tried to jump Carmelo Anthony at a track meet. You know what I mean? And they tried to bully him. You know everybody, everybody that that speaks for school and that speaks for students. They speak about bullying, against bullying. You know what I'm saying? And they bullied this kid. He made he they were going to jump this kid at the track meet, and one of the people that I don't like, Charleston White. I ain't gonna say I don't like him. I don't like some of his views that he speaks on, because you never know when he's being honest or telling the truth. You never know when he's trolling. He trolls against his own people, and you never know when to take him serious. No, at first he was saying that Carmelo Anthony needs to go to jail. Send the kid off to prison. That's trying to be funny in a situation that wasn't, that uh, didn't call for comedy. At the moment, this is a very serious situation. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is a legal lynching for for a kid that was 17 years old when it happened. Um, a lot of prejudiced people involved, as you can see in my video yesterday in front of the courthouse. There was a lot of prejudiced people, using the N word. There were all types of people that were you even had black people that was there against Carmelo Anthony. Fine, fine and dandy. But now, if this kid, I'm not saying he's not guilty, but if this was a white kid, for one, they would have threw this case out, or he would have got manslaughter. I'm saying that this should have been a crime of passion or manslaughter or something. Not, not all guilty. You know what I'm saying? All guilty charges and 35 years. The just it just wasn't fair. He didn't have a jeweler of his color to help represent for him. You know what I'm saying? It was all white jewelers, a white judge that's getting ready to retire. He wanted to pick one of the books, before he retired. You know what I mean? It just wasn't fair, and I think it should be appealed, but it's not my business. So let's get to it, man. Like I said, I'm usually against Charleston White because, like I said, he trolls. He trolls against his own people, and you never know when he's serious. But this is this is one time that I agree with Charleston White and what he has to say about this case, and he brings some pretty good points about this. You know what I mean? So let's check this out, y'all. This is Charleston White speaking about Carmelo Anthony the Carmelo Anthony verdict from yesterday. Hold on 1 second, everybody, as I get the video, prepare the video.
I got all the facts.
Trey, be quiet. Okay? All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. I found the video. Y'all be patient with me.
Facts of the case. So there's a video that's been released by Frisco Independent School District, because this is public information. You can go up to Frisco Independent School District and see this video. That's why Austin Metcalf's dad, and now they've drugged the mom, man, but they're trying to debunk people from going to see the video. Why do you think Sarah J. Fields, she released anybody had to the indictment, and she got a woman fired because Jim Crow systematic tactic where they got the people inside the courts, they got the people inside, and they're working against Anthony family on behalf of Sarah J. Fields, because she's a precinct chair, Frisco Independent School District, because this is.
All right, y'all, be patient with me. I'm trying to get it playing right now. All right, so yeah, here it goes. This is it right here. This is what Charleston White had to say about the whole Carmelo Anthony case, and he makes some pretty good points. What I say.
Public information, and if you want to see this video, you can go up to Frisco Independent video. That's why Sarah J. Fields and Austin Metcalf's dad, and now they've drugged the mom, man, but they're trying to debunk people from going to see the video. Why do you think Sarah J. Fields, she released the indictment before anybody had to the indictment, and she got a woman fired because they're using a new Jim Crow systematic tactic where they got out the courts, they got the people inside, and they're working against the Carmelo Anthony family on behalf of Sarah J. Fields, because she's a precinct chair and she's threatening to use her power from her precinct chair, I think District 30, to get people unelected and get people elected if they don't go against this case. So she's trying to use political power to influence and persuade this case. That is what Sarah J. Fields have partnered with Austin's family in trying to do. The mom wasn't too much in it. The mom's really been grieving. Jeff Metcalf has been playing for the camera because he's been an absent father who abused the mom, and he think he can get back in with mom, and mom doesn't want anything to do with Jeff. That's in the camera together, like you see the Carmelo Anthony's family doing.
Like he said, man, this is the new Jim Crow. The new Jim Crow, man, 2026. But they're trying to make it look good, man. And this isn't going to end out well, man. This is all bad. But Charleston White said he put up $75,000 toward his appeal. Hopefully that'll come due too. You know what I mean? But he speaks a lot of good points about this Carmelo Anthony case. And this is the only time I totally agree with Charleston White. He brings some pretty good points.
So let me stick to the case, to the facts, right? So Sarah has a lady who works for the Collin County courts who just lost her job, who released the indictment before.
Collin County Court. That's that is McKinney, Texas. I once went to school in McKinney, Texas, and they're prejudiced. The politicians there are prejudiced as hell. But let's go.
Or anybody had this. So for whatever reason, Sarah is getting all this information, and she's coming to misconstrue the information, and she's giving out misinformation and false information. Number one, the family has not the GoFundMe money. GoFundMe froze the money because the lawyers are trying to get the money. The lawyers are trying to get the money, not the family. It's the lawyers. The first group of people came through with civil rights lawyers trying to play for a civil rights lawsuit as if this was a police shooting. That's why they went with the race card. Biggest mistake they could have made. First mistake I told them they made, playing a race card. Now the white people was waiting for black people to play the race card. Now they're playing the race card in ways that we can't see. It's called racism. It's hidden in the fabrics. It's embedded in the fabrics of the design of America. So it's not blatant. You can't see it. It's hidden, like somebody in college.
This is how they hide the prejudices in America in 2026. And it's like you said, it's hidden in the fabrics. You know, it's hidden with the money. It's hidden with the politicians, and you know they know how to hang. They know how to hang a person that they want hung legally. You know, without people raising the eyebrow to see. You know what I'm saying? It's nasty nowadays.
County courts who has a job to feed their family are releasing private information to a known, not a law enforcement, which is Sarah J. Field. That's the first mistakes that's happening in this case. These are making this doing this. These are not. This was a children's problem, a children's issue. The adults have gotten in and made it hateful, ugly, and racist. And this is about right or wrong.
Right. This was a children's problem. You should have seen all of the retired white people out in the parking lot of the court yesterday, out there spewing so much hatred and racism toward this black kid. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but I'm glad that there were plenty of black people out there to argue back with these prejudiced white supremacists. You know what I mean? It's sad, and I feel the race war coming. It doesn't feel good at all.
This is clearly about right or wrong. This isn't about race. The adults have came in and made it about race. You don't hear no children online talking and fighting and going back and forth about this case. It's all hateful-hearted adults. It's not children. It's all hateful-hearted adults online bickering, going back and forth, spewing hate over an issue over children. None of them was there. All the adults with opinion, none of them was there. So Sarah, let's tell the truth. Jeff, let's tell the truth.
They're not going to tell the truth because it's too many. It's too much. There's too many prejudiced politicians involved now. So the truth is hidden under the paperwork, and under the retired Republicans, retired people that want to see this kid hung. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but the truth's not going to come out. This is just sad for our people, man.
You even said in an interview, but you're talking too fucking much online, Jeff. You're talking too much online, Jeffrey Metcalf, and you're partnering with someone who wasn't there, and it's clearly she's a hateful-hearted. And by the way, Sarah, we have your background as well. You said Dominique Alexander's a horrible person, and he is. And you once were too, Sarah. You used to smoke meth. You was a meth addict whore. So don't try to get cleaned up in a Republican Party and hide behind this conservative shield as if you once was a liberal whore, getting high, selling your cunt for meth. So come on, Sarah. Don't play like you're just so high and mighty. Jeff, you're a woman beater. You used to beat your wife. Your kids heard it. They saw it. You had anger issues, Jeff. Guess what? Your two big boys did too.
They want to send this kid off because if they reopen this case, it's gonna peel back the layers within the politicians. There's a lot of dirty politicians out there in Texas that are hiding behind this case. But this is one that they wanted. They wanted this to be gone because, like I said, it's a lot of people retiring from from their positions, like the judge. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't look good, man. But all my black Texans out there, stick together, man, and stay strong and come together. If anything, let this be the reason that you all come together and come with a plan together, man. Nothing works like a plan. And like I said, a lot of times I don't trust Charleston White because he trolls against his own people. But this is the first time I ever heard him speak out for his own people. At first he was going against Carmelo Anthony. He had the idea of, hey, he's guilty, send him to jail. And I'm not saying that this kid is totally innocent, but what happened to the crime of passion or the self defense? You know what I'm saying? No, nobody, no, they just want to send this kid off. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't look good, and it's making a lot of. There's even white people that was in the parking lot at the courthouse. They were speaking for Carmelo too. That shows you that this is a case that just doesn't feel good in the community. You know what I'm saying?
They had very anger issues. And from what's been reported about Austin and his twin brother, they've been kicking ass since elementary. They've been bigger than most children. Not only that, they are trained experts in jiu-jitsu. Why isn't the media reporting this?
All right, so that's it, y'all. That's if y'all want to see more, there's plenty of stuff on YouTube about this Carmelo Anthony case, and y'all go check it out, man. You know what I mean? Because like I said, this is not going to end well. There's a lot of racist people, speaking down about this the Anthony family out there. But like I say, all the black people, this is, if any time, we need to come together and fight for a cause, and this is definitely a great cause right here. But yeah, this is it. Y'all hit the like button and thank everybody for coming. I appreciate y'all.